Good evening. Welcome to the December 8, 2020 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for the City of Fayetteville. We have some special guests this evening from our city school system. We're going to ask Mr. Vincent Rulander to come forward and do the opening prayer, and then Ms. Caden Ragsdale will come forward and help lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll get into our agenda. So if Mr. Rulander will come forward and say the prayer, and we'll start from there. Everybody stand, please.
Please bow your heads in prayer. Dear Lord, we are grateful to be here today. We ask that you may watch over us in these troubling times of COVID. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for all that you do for us. Please give us wisdom and guidance so that we may live a life that you choose for us. Let us live your will. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Ragsdale. You come forward. Everybody turn to the flag and go ahead and start us out. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, both of you. You have the agenda in front of you. I do want to ask, under new business at the bottom, E, F, and G, the Employee Service Awards, recognition of retiree, and 2020 Distinguished Service Awards are not really items we have to vote on as a board. The reason we're doing this tonight, we normally have a Christmas banquet. We canceled that due to COVID concerns, and we wanted to make sure that our employees got their service awards. So if I could have a motion, if it's agreeable to the board, and a second to just take E, F, and G and move those down to where I would normally do my comments.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Pam, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Excuse me. Ms. Small? Aye. Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman? Aye. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
That item passed. We need to review the minutes of regular meeting minutes, November 10th, 2020. Anybody have any changes, additions, deletions? No. If not, we'll enter those into record. Next is the organization meeting minutes of November 23rd, 2020. Anybody have any comments, deletions, additions? If not, we'll enter those into record. We'll go to our reports. We want to welcome Mr. Hopkins from the city school system. Yeah, ready for you.
I was scared to come by myself, so I brought a whole crew. Well, you got the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here's the good. Now I don't know about the bad and the ugly. First of all, thank y'all for having us. I did want to bring Coach McIntyre here. He's representing the football team. Coach Morrison couldn't be here tonight, so he's good here. If y'all have any questions about the game, any of the play calling, he called the offensive plays. So he's here to answer any questions about anything you have on that. Oh, Ms. Mead. These two young ladies, I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and then if y'all would, go ahead and start my report.
I'm Jaquela Small.
Go ahead and speak up in the microphone, please.
Good evening. My name is Jaquela Small, and here with me tonight is Carly Wakefield. We are part of the Fayetteville City FFA chapter, and we're honored to be asked by Mr. Hopkins to speak on the behalf of Fayetteville City School Systems. This year has been a trying time for all of us. We are so thankful for all the support that the city has given our school and the city of Fayetteville. Your work and dedication does not go unnoticed. We are here to tell you a little bit about what is going on at the Fayetteville City Schools this year. Okay, the FHS band is combining the jazz and bluegrass band into a rock and horn band. Mr. Henderson said it's going so well so far, and that they have learned to play quite a few cool songs. They have learned 8 songs so far and will be open to playing small gigs soon.
The FHS Art Club students sold $200 of their own work at the Host of Christmas Past. Art students are creating Christmas cards next week to be delivered to the nursing homes, hospital staffs, and patrons. They have a goal to beat the 200 card limit that they made last year. The FHS football team won the Title 1A state championship game last Friday night in Cookeville, Tennessee. Many students, including Jacayla and myself, were able to go since the school system allowed us to be out on Friday.
The FHS girls, boys, and basketball teams are doing well this year. Both teams had victory over Mount Pleasant last night. Given our circumstances, we are chosen to see the positivity in the seemingly dark times. Instead of dwelling on the fact that we have missed going to conferences, conventions, and contests, we have chose to have more chapter meetings in an effort to attract more FFA membership. At the beginning of the year, we had a chapter meeting in an effort to attract more FFA membership and where we had many outdoor activities and leadership-based games. For the 2021 school year, Tennessee FFA became affiliated. That means that every agriculture student in the state of Tennessee is also a dues-paying FFA member. Fayetteville City FFA currently has 84 members for the school year. This has allowed us to show our students what FFA exactly means to us. So far this year, we've had 2 fundraisers selling sweet corn and mums.
At the virtual 2020 National FFA Convention, FHS alumni Richard Bryant and Ruthie Rulander received their American FFA degrees. This is the highest FFA degree that an FFA member can apply for. Only 1% of members receive this degree. We are so proud of Richard and Ruthie.
The Fayetteville City FFA chapter is in full swings of competitions. In October, Carly Wakefield and Destiny Willis represented Tennessee FFA at the National FFA Convention with their Agri-Science Fair project in the Environmental and Natural Resource Systems division. We have also competed in the virtual poetry judging competition at the state level. We currently have 4 career development events practicing for their competitions in January. These are Parliamentary Procedure, Conduct of Chapter Meeting, Agriculture Issues Forum, and Marketing Plan. We also have 4 individual speaking competitions in the works. These are Employment, Prepared, Extemporaneous, and Creed Speaking. These 4 will compete on January 14th at the district level. We are very excited to see how these FFA members during their competitions.
Fayetteville City Schools has partnered with Health Connect America to provide social emotional support to students and their families. Personalized services will be provided based on the needs of the child and the family by a licensed therapist.
Fayetteville City Schools has been selected to participate in the K-3 school year book delivery program. This is sponsored by the Governor's Early Literacy Foundation in the partnership with Tennessee Department of Education to support students, families, and teachers by providing quality books and literacy resources at no cost to students and teachers. Backpacks of 10 high-quality grade-appropriate books and thank sheets will be delivered directly to the home of kindergarten through 3rd grade students in our district at no cost. Families will also gain access to Ready 4K, an evidence-based family engagement curriculum delivered via text message. Each week, caregivers receive text messages with fun facts and easy tips on how to promote their child's development. Content has been approved by the Tennessee Department of Education, is in line with educational standards. We have had a total of 45 students and 35 staff members test positive for COVID since August.
For the first semester, we've had 77 virtual students at Ralph Askins, 112 at Fayetteville Middle School, and 162 at Fayetteville High School, which is just a little over 27% of our students who chose virtual this year. We are transitioning to a full virtual school for all students starting December 10th until December 18th. This is due to the large number of staff members testing positive and being quarantined due to contact tracing. Fayetteville City Schools just received its yearly audit report. It was an unqualified opinion, which is the best that you can get.
Thank you for allowing us to speak to the Mayor and the Board of Aldermen.
On behalf of Mr. Hopkins and the Fayetteville City Schools and all the students and staff of Fayetteville City Schools, thank you and go Tigers.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, don't go sit down, Coach McIntyre. Come on up here.
Corian, you want to bring
I do. Corian, will you come up here a second, please? Corian Cash, one of our star players. Of course, we did have a significant event this past Friday afternoon where our Fayetteville City Tigers won their first state 1A football championship. And the reason why Coach Morrison couldn't be here tonight, he's ill, and Coach McIntyre, who's our offensive coordinator, who did make that great play call on 4th and 2 when KJ broke and nobody touched him for 29 yards, and the defense So not only are we just so proud of everybody on the team, but the reason why I asked Corey on is in the advent, you have to understand these state championships and they're played at different classifications and they're all over the country right now. And in the light of the fact that we won something historic here for the city, is that something else took place. And a moment of an act of kindness, really, to where, you know, South Pitt was the overwhelming favorite. People that go on some of the social media sites, we were supposed to, you know, we were going to have the running clock after halftime because we were going to be down by 30 or so points or whatever. And so their players, you know, some of them were just devastated with the loss. And there's a picture that you've seen on Facebook where one of their players is sitting on the ground and Corian goes over to console him. And that has generated such publicity nationally that it's been on Sports Center, it's been on Twitter, it's been on Max Preps, it's been on every national site. It's had over 3 million views. And so, I mean, it's just, you know, tremendous because, let's just face it, this is not a simple story. This is a team that has faced adversity over the last year, denied the chance to go to the playoffs last year, lost a beloved teammate to a tragic accident, and then to push through, and even we didn't even have good weather the other day. I mean, we couldn't even get the sun out, but even to the last minute, to the last play. And so if you just want to say a word or two about that, I know that the other player was interviewed by a station in Chattanooga, but you know, it's amazing that in this day and age where everything's so bad and negative, that has really put such a highlight on who we are here in Fayetteville.
Well, I just want to say that I would expect like the same thing from the other team. It was happening to us, and really, I didn't know what to do at that point in time, so I just went over there and talked to him, told him he played a good game and that the team really play hard and all that.
And you weren't the only one. I mean, we had other players. I mean, there's a video that shows, but you're that image with you and that player. And of course, like I said, he spoke in an interview and explained his side. And that's what gets lost a lot of times is when at your age and in sports is parents and adults do all the caddy fighting and stuff, but the players respect each other. You know, you expect what each other is doing on the field. And like you said, you would hope at the same time they would pick you up if you were down too. But we just wanted to highlight that and let you know that isn't, of course, that obviously hasn't gone unnoticed, but hasn't gone unnoticed here. And in January, when we have more time, we'll do a proper resolution, have all the team together and everything. And Coach McIntyre, do you have any comments you'd like to say?
No, I guess I would just say first that Coach Morrison wanted me to apologize to everyone for not being here. And thank everybody for all the support that we've had throughout the year, going back to last year. But, you know, what Corian did and what the other players did is kind of what our team's been about. You know, things have been up and down for the past 2 years, and they went through a lot of things that most people don't have to go through, and they've always been resilient, and they've always came back, and they've always tried to rise to the occasion. Because they care about each other, they care about people, they care about the coaches. We got a lot of great kids that video, we see it every day. We see it all the time. So I'm glad that it's out there for everyone to see. Yeah, we got some good football players, but we got good kids too. So that's a great thing about that video.
Well, and the parents too. You got a great set
Great
of parents,
great community.
Took a large group to Lake County. I hope people put in context that you beat Moore County that may have won it themselves if they had beaten us. And then you go all the way as far as you can go to the edge of the state of Tennessee to play maybe the best game nobody saw, except for the ones that went against Lake County, which was the defending state champs. And then you come back and you play the vaunted South Pitt. And like I said, there were all these predictions that we were just going to get creamed. But that's not this team. I mean, anybody that's gone and watched this team is you make a play when you got to make a play. I've watched football since I was a kid, 10 years old. I've never, at all levels of football, for 4 straight games, you've had 4 goal line stands inside like the 3 yard. I've never seen that at any level of football.
I joked with our players after the game, of course, well after the game, celebration and all that stuff, that, you know, since I got here, and that was the beginning of the last season, and Coach Morrison, every time we have a big game, social media, all this stuff, everybody picks against us. So maybe somebody will pick for us next year, because our kids always rise to the occasion, no matter what the challenge is. So.
And I'd just like to finish it. This was something sent by Mark Clark, who's a board member today, and this was a letter or an email received sent to our principal at the high school, and it says, Mr. McCormick, I want to ask that you pass along this message to your students, staff, and parents. I've been a teacher at my alma mater, South Pittsburgh High School, for over 20 years. This is my oldest son's senior year. Obviously, it ripped my heart out to see him kneeling in the end zone crying after the last play of the game last night because it was his last play ever. I was on the sidelines and crying too, but as I took a few steps toward him to go and comfort him, something amazing happened. A Fayetteville player ran up to him, knelt and put his arms around him, patted him on the head and lifted him back up. I stopped and looked around, and many other Tiger players were doing the same for our other seniors. Instead of celebrating, they used that time to comfort our kids, including my own. I'm sure you probably noticed it too. It was an incredible act of sportsmanship in class, something that's terribly lacking these days. I'm hoping that you'll pass along how meaningful that act was to me as a teacher, but especially as a dad. I will never forget it. It might seem like a small, insignificant thing, but it wasn't to me or my son. Please tell them how much I appreciate it. I'm sure all of you are proud of the players and coaches for winning the championship, and you should be, but you should be prouder of what they did at the end of the game. It is clear that you and your teachers and coaches are helping to produce quality human beings, which at the end of the day is the goal of every educator. For that, everybody at Fayetteville High School has a reason to be proud today. Congratulations. So congratulations. And no pressure. I mean, you know, you're young, you do it next year.
One other thing, you know, our last meeting I attended, we had a video about Fayetteville City. I thought it was really great as far as, you know, recruiting and city. No better advertisement for Fayetteville City than what we just had. And it is very, very pleasurable because that guy that they're talking about was you. And he was just talking about and what great ambassadors for Lincoln County and Fayetteville City and our whole area. And I know I'm new here, but I will tell you what, I've been other places. This is really, really special, and it's a great time to be in Fayetteville City.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Hopkins, before you go, will you talk a little bit about just going virtual? You had a message out yesterday, but about the school system going virtual.
That'll bring us down. We were going so good. And yes, we have had as you know, all of Lincoln County's had a number of cases, and we have been fighting it the whole time, trying to stay with traditional, because traditional is so very important, especially for the elementary level. So we have done everything we could to try to make sure that we had traditional as an option. We started seeing cases rise, and our middle school would not have been able to function with traditional school going forward due to the contact tracing. Y'all know what that means. You know, obviously when someone tests positive, the people around them, and we would have had to combine classes and do those type things. Our high school, obviously we just came off a wonderful event where there was a lot of hugging, a lot of close contact and those type things, and we felt with just a few days left in the first semester that this would be the best time educational wise for us to go ahead and pull the trigger and go full virtual. It was a very difficult call. We met as a staff and with the administrators, but luckily with our remote Wednesdays, we've practiced this, and we feel confident that we can continue to give as best possible education, you know, up to the end of the semester. But it is our intent when we start back on January the 6th, I believe it is, that we will offer traditional and virtual as the options. So we have no intent for this to be the way that we proceed the remainder of the school year.
Sure, absolutely.
Any questions? Like I said, I wanted them to read the numbers tonight to kind of hear what the numbers were. Obviously, the numbers of positive cases are not a problem. It's typically the contact tracing and the rules of being within 6 feet and 15 minutes, and now they've upped that to combined time. You know, where you come back and forth, they add that together.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Thank you so much, Ms. Shaw.
Thank you.
We'll go to the Fayetteville Lincoln County Library. Sherry Jacks, is she here to give a report?
We have had over 1,000 visitors that came to the library last month. The programs that we had offered virtually for adults, children, and teens are the Anime Club and the Korean Jewels Club. We are continuing to offer programs online for the safety of everyone. The Elk River Book Club is the only program we have for now that met physically and has been successful with safety precautions taken. We had a good turnout in attendance for the Facebook watch parties that both the Korean Club and the Anime Club held every 2 weeks. We're hoping to add more as soon as we can. The staff and I are working above and beyond, making sure everyone stays safe. We are hopeful that a new director will be in place soon.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you so much. We'll go into our standing committee reports. Fire Department, Chief Howell.
For the month of November, Fire Department responded to 2 structure fires, 1 vehicle, 57 medical assist with EMS, 1 motor vehicle accident with injury, and 1 extrication, and that was from an individual caught in a piece of machinery. Also, this past weekend, the Fayetteville Fire Department had their annual roadblock for the toy drive. They raised a little over $12,000, and they are going to be serving 265 families this year.
You had a structure fire today.
Yes, sir. We sure did. Elk and Washington.
Any of the adjacent homes on either side affected?
No, sir. What actually happened, they were doing some construction work on inside the house. They were actually burning the hardwood floor, and when in the process, they caught behind the walls on fire. Took them a little bit to get to it, but they did save the structure, some damage, but they did save the whole structure.
And going back to that incident with a person caught in machinery, I spoke to you and you said there was a great effort between the police and the fire department in that situation, because that was a tricky situation.
It was a tricky situation. Fayetteville Fire was very impressive in the way they handled that and got it out, but it was a team effort.
Mm-hmm. Any questions of Chief Howell on the fire department? If not, we'll go to the police report.
Police Department had 89 reportable incidents of the TBI, made 38 arrests, issued 35 citations, with a total police activity event for the month of 1,307.
Any questions? Thank you so much, Chief. We'll go to finance report, Ms. Stacy Roselle.
Good evening. As I mentioned in the work session on Thursday, our local option sales tax continues to produce strong numbers. We received $236,826.20 in November, bringing our total received year-to-date to just under $1 million. We are currently $100,000 more than this time last year. And as I've gone through these figures each month, and you continually hear me refer to compared to last year, please keep in mind that in fiscal year 2020, that was the highest local option sales tax that we have on record. And we are currently exceeding that during the middle of a pandemic. So we would like to encourage our citizens to please continue to shop locally, because not only when you shop local do you help those local business owners, but your tax dollars do help the city to provide better service for the citizens, which in turn does help the citizens. And we continue to collect property taxes. We have approximately 12.5% received as of the end of November. And we would like to remind the citizens also that if you do not feel comfortable getting out during this time, that your payments can be mailed in. We will take payments over the phone, or you can pay online. If you can't find your tax notice, don't know how much it is, give us a call in the office and we will get that information to you. We have a great staff here in the municipal building, and we will do anything within our power that we can to help you.
And that phone number is 433-6154 is the general number.
That is correct.
Any questions of Ms. Roselle? Thank you. Chris Mitchell wasn't able to attend for the rec department. Jerry, do we have Scott on the mask?
We should, yeah.
Scott, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, Mayor. Good evening. Parks and Recreation just came off of hosting 2 wonderful events. The Bright Lights Festive Nights was held Friday, December 4th, and despite the weather and some other issues, namely winning a state championship, the event was well attended and good time was had for all. Then the next day, on Saturday, December 5th, they hosted the Christmas parade, and the ones that participated and the spectators all appeared to have a very good time. Now we're getting ready to sit down and get to work, planning our spring sports schedule and all the organization that goes into it, as well as maintenance and many other issues we hope to get planned out during the cold weather months. That's the Parks and Recreation report, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on Parks and Rec? I encourage anybody to go out to the Stone Bridge and see the Christmas lights. They always do a great job. And of course, the Christmas parade was a little bit down in the number of entries, but it was still a good night the other night. We'll go to the Public Works Department, Eddie Plunkett.
Thank you, Mayor. Month of November, we picked up 71 ton of leaves, 96 ton of yard waste, and trash pickup was 245 ton. The 24th and 25th of this month, we will be closed, but sanitation will run normal on Thursday. So just go ahead and put it out. We will be running trash on Thursday night, or Wednesday night, Thursday morning. The winter months coming on, if we start having bad weather, we encourage everybody, whether we do or we don't, to get your sanitation out the night before, because we may delay schedules and we may start them early, depending on what the weather situation is or what the predictions are for bad weather. The leaf pickup, we're getting caught up on it. Hopefully by Friday at quitting time, we will have run the whole city this week instead of being split into 2 weeks. That's all I have, Mayor. If you have any questions.
You still run the staggered, like if you pick up my garbage this Tuesday, the next Tuesday you pick up things that may be out by the side of the street?
We pick up garbage every day, just on normal schedule. Household, we're picking up this week, brush will be next week, and it's staggered that way.
Okay.
But garbage is picked up every week on schedule as normal.
And everybody's very pleased that 2nd Avenue's back open again.
2nd Avenue's back open, Brookmead's back open. We got paving bids in today, which come in for $5,000 under what we had in the budget. So hopefully next week we can get started on some paving. That is the plan. I got a meeting with the contractor Thursday and see if we can get everything worked out, and they're planning on starting next week.
Yes. Looks like some warmer days coming up. So.
Well, he's hoping he can get everything ground, and then he'll just pave whenever he catch a warm day, hopefully. If the weather's bad, we may have to run on a street that's been ground till the spring, but we're doing the best we can do as quick as we can do. If we ain't got it, the street's ground, we can't pave when it gets pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and grind them and hope we catch a pretty day between now and Christmas to get them paved.
Sure.
Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We go to planning codes. Ms. Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. 5 permits were issued in November. The total project valuation was $773,699. The total permit fees were $1,306.34. It included 1 demo, 1 fence permit, 1 permit for new construction, which was the Highway 55 burgers, and 2 remodels. For property maintenance, there's approximately 850 property maintenance violations are logged this year. An update from the Planning Commission on the subdivision regulation update. We held our 5th workshop this past Saturday. We reviewed the 3rd draft of the new document. We are working to gather other requested documents for Ms. Sharon Armstrong, and we plan to call for a public hearing at the January Planning Commission meeting and hold the public hearing at the February meeting. There will not be a December Planning Commission meeting. For the Board of Zoning Appeals, we had a meeting today with Kevin Fryer from Print Signs. He proposed a pole sign variance for 3 of the Chevron locations. Eddie and I will have a meeting tomorrow morning with Mr. Hill for clarification on this item. We do already have another BZA meeting scheduled for January the 5th. The 2 agenda items include a side and rear setback variance for the property located on Winchester Highway, and consideration for approval for a special exception for the use of the property located at 201 William D. Jones Boulevard. This has gone through the Planning Commission, but does need approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals as a special exception. For the Branding Initiative project, we finished proofing the downtown map and the visitor's guide today. Both of these items will be going to print shortly. And then I have a meeting with Drew Warner Thursday afternoon. He works for Q1 Media. He's going to give me an overview of the digital marketing for the month of November and supply me with the first round of data. That's my report.
Thank you. Any questions of Ms. Gentry? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll go on to the City Administrator's report. Scott Collins.
Thank you, Mayor. We're having daily communication with the engineering firm on the William D. Jones project and significant forward movements happening. TDOT Traffic Operations Office has signed off on it. The TDOT ADA office has approved. The overall plans have been approved with the exception of minor modifications, primarily making the language of the plan to TDOT required language. And worked with Director Plunkett today and yesterday to coordinate a detour route which will go by the bypass, but the plan will call for a temporary access road to go in to the apartments on the west side of William D. Jones. And lastly on this project, the NEPA is set to expire in February, the environmental approval. However, they're already working on the extension and no problems are foreseen, so we can go to bid within the next week or 2. The next item on Greenway Phase 1 and Phase 2, we've been in communication with Tennessee Valley Archaeology Resources, Travis Rail, as he spoke to you all on Thursday during the work session. He had hoped to have the plan submitted by yesterday, December 7th. However, we've been in communication yesterday and today, and he is working on it probably as we speak and plans on submitting it either tonight or tomorrow. On the local parks and recreation grant for the soccer complex, a pre-bid meeting is scheduled for January 5th, with the bids to be opened on January 19th, 2021. And the last item, Mayor, we'll also be working with TDOT on some new city limit signs. I understand they need to say home of the TSSAA 1A state football champion.
That's correct. One clarification, Mr. Collins, you said Greenway Phase 1 and 2. That was actually Greenway Phase 2 and 3 on the grant process with the archaeological reports.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for correction.
Any questions of Mr. Collins?
I have one question. Scott, you've mentioned to me on more than 2 occasions that we would have a fire chief in the by the month of January. Where do we stand on that process?
Meeting was held today with MTS Representative Steve Cross, and we are working on that process as promised.
Thank you.
So as no other questions, we'll go into unfinished business. We have two items. Item A, Resolution 2020-12 bond issue. As was Mr. Hill described in the work session on the other day, at the end of last month, what we voted on was the end of discussion, but we actually have to vote on the actual resolution, so let's go straight to vote. So Pam, if you'll call the roll, please.
Point of order. Are we voting on the actual resolution? We need to vote then, because this is where we made our mistake last month. When we did a motion and second on that resolution, we never,
Okay, I'm sorry.
don't we? Do we need a
You're
motion
right,
and
you're
second
correct,
or
I'm
not?
sorry.
Motion and second on the main motion last month.
So we're good with that? We good with that?
Am I not correct on that? I mean, that's my recollection.
We did have. Okay.
So, yes.
All right.
My discussions with the representative of MTS, who
Right.
is considered the authority on Roberts at MTS,
Okay.
and his her opinion after viewing the tape of the meeting was we had passed the, your motion to call the question.
Right.
So that left us then to vote on the main motion, which I guess the motion was to pass resolution 2020-12.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second, and now we need to take a vote.
So that motion and second still good?
Yes.
From last month? Okay.
So do you need a new motion second?
I'm good.
Why don't we do it just to be for sure?
Yeah, let's just do it just to be sure. Need a motion.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Alder. Pam, call the roll, please.
Ms. Small? Aye. Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
No.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryan?
Aye.
That item passed. Next item is Resolution 2020-13. This bond issue is the obligation of the issuance of the $5 million plus actually the refinance of 3 current bonds, 1 with the school system and 2 with the city of Fayetteville. So the second one is a obligation of the issuance not to exceed $12,450,000. Need a motion? Let's see. Stacy, you want to come up and explain?
Okay, the initial resolution that was just passed is what authorizes to say this, as the board, this is what we want to do to issue new debt, because essentially a bond is a debt. The second resolution for the 12 million is authorizing, now we're saying, yes, this is what we're going to spend the money, we're going to spend the money on. Out of this 12 million, the 5.1 million is the new money, and the other 7.2, is the refinancing, the refunding of a $4.6 million school bond, a $745,000 city bond, and a $1.6 million city bond. So it is actually the authorizing of spending the money to say, yes, we agree to pay this debt, this is how we will pay this debt.
And we're getting a better rate, let everybody know that too, on those bonds that we are reissuing.
That is correct. Our estimated savings on all of these bonds,
It's about $800,000, like $799 plus.
right, that is correct. Between the school system is, the schools look to say without extending the life of these bonds, so the terms will not change, they will not go out over a longer period of time, just the change in interest rate on these refinancing. The school is estimated to save $480,000, the city $120,000 and $180,000 over anywhere from 5 to 16 years.
So the actual bonds, the city's bonds is $4,645,000, and the city's existing bonds, as we're redoing, refunding, $2,410,000.
That is
The way it
correct.
breaks down.
Yes, sir.
So it's about, about 2/3 city school system and about 1/3 of ours.
That is correct.
So somewhere in that neighborhood.
But we save on administration costs by doing it all as one big thing. Schools will still pay their portion, the city will still save their portion, but it's lumping the administrative cost and the dock fees and that type of information.
Well, the estimated cost on that is like $145,000.
That's correct.
That would.
And
Come
even
on with
with
it.
those savings that I quoted you are taking into consideration those administrative fees. It's legal fees, it's bond counsel fees, underwriting fees.
And all the exact forms and documents are part of this resolution.
That is
As
correct.
you go through and you look and see things, signatures have to be signed by city officials or Cumberland Securities. And
That is correct.
we need a motion.
So move, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second, Alderman Martinez. Discussion. Pam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
No.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That item passed. We go to new business. Item A, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade Permit for January 18th, 2021. This is a standard annual event that starts down at the, starts and they march up to the, they march up here to the gazebo, and then they march down to the African Methodist Church down by Galton Funeral Home. So it's a motion, a second to pass this.
So moved, Mayor. Second.
Second, Alderman Martinez. Any discussion? Pam, call the roll, please.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That item passed. Item B, Tiger Pep Rally. This is retroactive to a pep rally we had this past Thursday. We talked about it at the work session. We just need to validate the pep rally that we had last Thursday before our team went up to play in the state championship
Move to
game.
approve, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Pam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
That item passed. Item C, Chandler Thinks extension of contract. This is, we discussed this in the work, finance and work session. Discussion of extending Steve Chandler, Chandler Thinks, from January 1st to the end of March to continue the work that has been done, as we've seen with video preparation, website development, advertisements on billboards, other things, visitor guide, other marketing material. Just need a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, Alderman Bryant. Any discussion? Pam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
That item passed. Item D, Fayetteville 2020 audit. Mr. Hancock, Dan Hancock from Putnam and Hancock came to our work session the other day, went over the audit for actually FY, I guess it's really 19. Was it 20? So we need to approve this document so we can send it on to the comptroller's office for them to have on record.
Move to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Second.
Second, Alderman Small. Any discussion?
Mayor, I have a few things that I would like to say. I appreciate this firm coming in and doing a thorough review of our financial records. It's very informative. It lets us know how we're doing with taking care of the taxpayers' money. Sad to say, looks like this year we didn't do so good. We had 3 audit findings. The first audit finding we have had for 3 years in a row, and that's spending money before approval, and that's kind of disheartening. Number 2, we had audit finding was spending money without a bid. This is a violation of Tennessee state bid law. And number 3 was paying out an employee sick leave at 100%, which violates the City of Fayetteville's personnel policy. And that calls for a 50% payout, not 100%. This was a long-term payout, and this should have been caught. So we were written up in this audit for these 3 items. Also, there were 3 areas of weaknesses that I just think is, we need to work harder on, and that was the grant administration, computer passwords, and inventory. I think the city administrator should let us know, discuss with us how this keeps happening. So that's my discussion, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I would have to say that I agree on a couple of them. We need to do some better next year.
All right, anybody else? Pam, call the roll, please.
Ms. Small? Aye. Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Hartman?
Aye.
Excuse me?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Martinez?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
That item passed. That concludes new business. We will go, like I mentioned earlier, we normally would have a Christmas banquet in December. Would have had it by this time, but with COVID and the numbers increasing, we decided it was best, and we did some different things for the employees. But we also want to recognize that one thing we do at that each year is we have our annual service awards. So there are some people that are not here. I'll mention the ones that are not here quickly. Chris Mitchell with Parks and Rec, 10 years. He would receive a pocket knife and plaque. Billy Brazier with the Police Department, 5 years. Cup and plaque. Lee Warren with Emergency Communications, 5 years. Cup and plaque. Zach Mitchell, Fire, 5 years. Cup and plaque. And also, I'm not sure if Becky Sisk ever came. If she didn't, we wanted to honor her for 34 years with a Crystal Cup and plaque in our administration department. So I'm going to come down. Ms. Sheila, our HR person, is going to help assist as we give out a few items for the ones that are here. So first I'm going to ask Richard Howell to come up from the police department for 30 years of distinguished service. Oh, wait, they give me the pencil set here. It's about to fall apart. Here, you hold that. You stay there, Sheila. You stay in these photos. Thank you, sir, for your service. Good job. Next up, we have Ray Pullen with Parks and Rec, 25 years. Thank you, sir. Come on, turn around. Let's take a good picture here. And that's it. There you go.
Three, 1, 2, and 3. One more. Okay, 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, sir. Dion Shockley, 20 years. You dressed up, Dion. Jesse Casillas. What, we giving Jesse something? 20 years. So we gave you that little utility vehicle to drive.
I know, I appreciate it.
There you go. Oh, wait, hold on a second. You don't know how to style yourself.
Oh, my bad.
Alright, on 3, 1, 2, and 3.
I'm smiling.
Thank you, Jesse. So now we have, all right, we're going to administration for Distinguished Service Awards, Miss Lennis Hyde. Thank you. Erica Hastings? Erica, she's not here. Okay. Brandon Gentry, fire. Congratulations. She's a nice photo. Thank you. Cole, is Cole here? Christopher Cole Crabtree. I did, he knows. Let me keep it. Parks and Rec, Parks and Rec.
On three, 1, 2, and 3.
I'm smiling too, Jeff.
1, 2, and 3.
Thank you. Joseph JT Maston. TJ. Thank you.
All right, on 3, 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the last one, Jamie Simmons with Public Works. Thank you, Jamie.
Okay, on 3, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you, everyone. We'll go into our closing comments. I'll start with Vice Mayor Small. Not Vice Mayor, the former Vice Mayor Small.
I'd just like to congratulate the Fayetteville City Tigers again on their state championship win. Extremely proud of all of you, coaches, teachers, and all. And would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. And for people not to forget what the reason for the season is, and to be safe, mask up.
The new Vice Mayor.
That was exactly what I was going to say. Same thing. I congratulate the ones that got their awards, well deserved. We got employees been here a long time, and that says something. It really says something. And I'm with Alderman Small. We need to remember always what this season's all about. It's about Santa Claus. Santa Claus will come. It's about Santa Claus, and it's also about the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's what this season's about. And you can't say enough about them City Tigers now. I tell you, I'm just so proud of them. They've been through some rough times, and they beat the odds. And I'm very proud of them. And I'm especially proud of them winning, and I'm especially proud of how they act. I'm proud of how they represent our community. And truth of the matter is, they put us on the map. If we wasn't on the map before, we are now. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Alderman Hartman.
I would just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I hope your holidays are wonderful, and it's going to be hard this year with COVID and everything, and may celebrate in a different way with your family than we have in the past. I would like to say congratulations to the City Tigers. Very proud of you. Mr. Cash, I think you will go far. People will think of you and what you have done, and that just shows what type of person you are. Congratulate you and appreciate you, because you do represent the city of Fayetteville, excuse me. And also to RCA, let's not forget that they also won a state championship. COVID, everybody mask up. It is a trying time. It is a scary time, something we haven't been through before. And Mr. Hopkins, it was so nice to have the students participate in our meeting tonight. I hope that they learned a little bit about how the city operates and what we have to go through and things like that. But it was very refreshing to see them up here tonight. And that's all I have to say. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Martinez?
Yeah, first I'd like to thank the police and fire for everything they do and recognizing them tonight. Great job on both sides. Working together as teams shows a lot of respect for the city. They do respect the city as a whole. And all the head directors, the committee directors for coming out and talking to us tonight. Also, carry on. I know you probably don't understand what's going on right now, but my kids got a lot of respect for you and the team. Trust me. You not only made the city proud, us proud, but you've made the younger kids, when they go out and play football, what it's really all about. Y'all play with a lot of heart. I think the city respects y'all as a team, and congratulations. It was a well-played game. Also, Merry Christmas, and I'm glad everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, and remember, the reason for the season also as well. But thank y'all.
Last but not least, Mr. Alderman.
All right, congratulations to the Tigers again. Congratulations to all our award winners tonight. Appreciate y'all. And just Merry Christmas to everybody. That's all I've got.
Mayor, if I may make a correction, please. I'm sorry, I forgot to say. On the Martin Luther King March, there will not be a gathering at St. Paul Church this year. They'll go from Mount Zion to the gazebo down College Street and back to Mount Zion.
Oh, okay.
Just need to clarify that.
Okay, all right. Thank you for alerting us on that. Coach McIntyre, I want you to go and tell Coach Morrison how proud we are, and it was a fantastic to go into the games, like I said, sitting up there, and of course, for Mr. Martinez and myself, our kids are just below that. They're in the middle school range right now, but they look up to those kids. But thank you guys for not going into overtime, because I don't think we could have made it up there in the stands. I mean, we gave everything we could. So luckily that happened. But can't say enough about how proud we are. And like I said, Coriana, just keep setting that example. And, the pressure's on. I mean, you guys are young. Got a lot of young players coming back. So, we expect this next year too. So, but no, I mean, we're very pleased with everything. And the happiest person right now is Chris Murdoch, because, the football players they didn't have can now play basketball for the next couple of months. So, Merry Christmas. Everybody have a safe holiday season, and we will adjourn this, and we will come back in January. Thank you so much.